But the painful part is that because of the AI increased improvements and because of the freelancers that we have, we currently don't see enough work to be done. And I also think that in the future, because more and more is being done with AI, we also don't really see how we can progress from this further, to continue from this further. So I'm sorry to say, but I'm afraid we don't see the role anymore the way we saw it. So I'm very sorry for this. Please don't take it on a personal level.
So AI is not going to take jobs, it's going to do something much worse than that. It took my job is far too reductive. The mechanism instead is that it's going to stop new jobs being created. It's not that you're going to come into work one day and Sandra from accounting is gone and Claude is there in her place. I wouldn't park there. The mechanism is a lot more insidious. AI is just going to stop new jobs being created, especially at the entry level, which sucks if you're younger. So you won't get fired because of AI, you just won't be able to find a job. And we're already seeing this happening globally, with new job creation starting to soften, and entry-level positions in particular having hundreds, if not thousands, of applicants for every place. That is not going to get better, I'm afraid.
We got rid of our HR team.
Why?
We had an HR team, right? And that HR team was creating problems that didn't exist. And those problems disappeared when I let them go.
Why? Why did you get rid of your HR team?
We replaced it with a couple-person people ops team, which was meant to just streamline people operations.
Okay.
I can't say that I would advise the same in a large company, but we're back in startup mode again. Those HR professionals have really important insights when you're in peacetime and when you're at a larger company. But we're a remote company. It's not like a lot of the potential issues that you would have in a workplace don't really exist because you're not in the same room as somebody.
Meta just laid off 8,000 employees yesterday via email, just like Oracle did the same thing about a month ago, 20 to 30,000 employees due to AI. Do I think AI is the sole reason why tech companies are doing all of these massive layoffs? No. Do I think tech companies are using AI as a scapegoat because they overhired like shit 5-6 years ago? Absolutely. From 2019 through 2021, all of your tech giant companies, tech companies in general, were hiring for crazy growth, massive growth. And once that growth got stagnant, they realized we just hired 1,000 engineers. We only need 100. AI currently isn't as useful as people think it is. We are just not there yet. Not on the grand scheme. We can forecast. Just like I seen at that college that they literally had AI read off a prompt and it butchered the entire graduation. That's where AI is as a whole. I'm Meta. I hired 4,000 software engineers. There was times on TikTok, all in different forums, Reddit and whatnot. So many engineers were saying, we don't even have shit to do. There's information out there that said Meta was hiring literally engineers' talent just so other tech companies wouldn't have them. What really happened was all of these tech companies disgustingly overhired, right? Creating all of these positions, knowing they didn't need them for too long, 18 months, 2 years. And once that growth gets stagnant, you're just holding on to fucking payroll. You got to wipe that for the bottom line. Now, after you displace 8,000 people that were making $180,000 to $200,000, they're not going to find those jobs, right? What's going to happen is it's going to be a collapse in the market. Software engineers, they can't sustain 180 to 240. You might be able to find an engineer job for 85, 110. But tech companies overhired so much that I think they're using AI as a scapegoat to wipe their hands.
Whatever happened to those day in the life working in tech vlogs?
It's because we all got laid off, honey. I worked at Spotify in 2019. It was my first job out of college. I was so excited. Like, it was my dream to move to New York City and just like live that like Carrie Bradshaw lifestyle. And we got so many amazing perks when I worked at Spotify. We got free food, free breakfast, lunch, and sometimes we would get dinner too. We would get free concerts. We would get free international trips to Sweden. There were just so many perks, and now all those perks have completely disappeared. Not to mention, I also got laid off from my job, but that's a story for another day. And that wasn't the only layoff I had. I also worked at Uber right after Spotify as a marketing manager, and I got laid off from that job too. As someone who studied engineering in college, like I went to like one of the best schools for engineering. Like I was the only woman who graduated in my class. Like I expected more out of my life. Like I thought I would be like, making 300K at this point in a full-time job with like a lot of benefits. But for a lot of my friends, this is not the case anymore. You do not want to work in tech actually, because you are probably going to have your job replaced by AI or replaced by something down the line, because now all they want to do is just cut on costs. But yeah, the tech industry is so fucked, so fucked. And I just don't think anyone should join tech right now.
Can't say after my first layoff, because I mean, you gotta think we're in tech, layoff happens. But after my first layoff, it did click to me on why like I moved the way I did at the time and why I really had to make a choice between the two fast. At the first layoff, I was like, okay, do I want to repeat this cycle again? Keep in mind, I'm still young in tech. I'm like a mid-level UX designer at this point. The money was great in 2020. I'm not gonna lie to you. The money was so good. I was just like, you know what? Let me still stick around with the W-2. So yes, I was still job stacking. I was job stacking C2Cs and I was job stacking W-2s. But I made sure I was able to get my work done and I made sure I meet all the client deliverables. Now, the thing about it though, when it comes to the C2C space, you got to make sure that you're doing what you need to do and you are considered a SME. You cannot come into the C2C space and you're not good at what you do and you're not a professional at what you do and you don't understand nothing of what you do. You have to come in being an expert, because companies will see and learn really fast. If you don't know what you're doing, you're cut, you're gone, your contract's over with. Contracting level contribution is totally different from anything when it comes to FTEs, because FTEs is more slower paced, contracting is more fast paced. So if you don't do well in fast paced environments, this may not be the career field for you. But if you do well in fast paced environments, you may work and it may do you some good. But everything will change in the way of how you communicate, how you show up for yourself, and how you build your skills and how you learn how to negotiate. This space, high negotiation field. So if you're not good at negotiation, don't worry about it. I got you, because this is what I do all day.
I just got laid off from Meta as a product manager. Last Wednesday, I was supposed to find out by around 7 a.m. if I was part of the mass layoffs. I woke up right before 7 a.m. and for the next 10 minutes, all I did was I refreshed my email. At 7:01, didn't get any layoff email. 7:05, I still didn't get anything. At 7:09, I thought maybe for a second that everything was going to be okay. At 7:10, I got logged out of every single application on my laptop. I got logged out of Gmail, got logged out of Calendar, and a couple seconds later, I got that layoff email. To be honest, I was pretty disappointed when I got that email. First of all, I was disappointed because I'm pretty sure I left my favorite Squirtle keychain at the office and I don't think I'm ever going to get that back. Second of all, I'm disappointed because being a product manager was my favorite job that I've ever had. For the last 2 years, being able to ship cool products across Facebook, Instagram, and Threads has been an awesome experience, and I'll always be grateful for that. If you're also looking for a new job, or if you're worried about layoffs, just know that you're not alone. For the next 90 days, I'm going to document what life is like post-layoffs. Outside of job searching, I'm also excited to DJ more. Last year in New York City, I did 45 shows as a tech house DJ, so now I have some time to enjoy it more. Welcome to my series on post-layoff life, and let's figure it out together.
So I just got laid off from my job at Meta at 4 a.m. I actually slept through it. By the time I woke up at 5:30, I was fully locked out. And you might think that I'd be programming at Meta, and it's been fine, but I've always had to sideline my passion and my creative freedom because of it. And now these tech companies are all insisting that computers are more creative than people, and bro, I just can't do this anymore. And thanks to AI, the rest of the games industry is also imploding on itself. So in my head, there's only one path for me to take now. It's time to finally bet on myself. You might remember that months ago, I announced I was rebooting my monster taming game to be a hero, and I haven't really talked about it since then, but I've been quietly grinding on it on the side, planning for the day when eventually I'd get laid off. So I'm just gonna trust in my 10 years of game development experience and go all in on to be a hero. And look, I'll be honest, I've got pretty big ambitions with this game, so like it could totally crash and burn, but I'm also probably never gonna have a chance like this again to build my dream life, so this is the time to go for it. And I'm gonna share my whole development journey on here, hopefully to inspire you to make games or even be creative in some other way. So like, yeah, getting laid off at 4 a.m. sucked, but I think this is just leading to something better. And if that sounds cool to you, be sure to follow.
Oracle just laid off 20 to 30,000 employees with a 6 a.m. email. Even though that their revenue jumped 22% last quarter, they just took on $58 billion of new debt towards AI data center creation. They're burning cash. So how can we free up some? Employee salary. 6 a.m. email, no warning, system cut off immediately. 18% of their workforce gone in a blink of an eye. This is Oracle stock price today. This says $50 down in the past 3 months. When that stock price goes down and you're burning through cash and you need capital, the quickest way to get more is to cut some employee salary. Cutting 20 to 30,000 employees is going to save them anywhere from around $6 to $10 billion, which is a lot of money if you're going to make a bet on AI data center creation and you have to fund that. You need capital. You're burning through cash very quickly. Now, when we talk about AI taking jobs, this is a part of it. Funding the fucking shit, right? Even though revenue is increasing, record profits, I'm burning a lot of capital cash on the back end, the expenses. I committed to all of these data centers being created. And the easiest way at any fucking company when your cash is strapped, I need to wipe out employees. 6 a.m. email, system shutdown is always disgusting behavior. And I'm gonna always tell people to have a backup plan and to make sure that you're saving some money, because your company is always going to be ready to cut you as quickly as possible, especially in this AI-centered world that we living in. Always stay ready.
My agency came from when I got laid off.
Okay.
Needless to say, I got laid off by the very thing I, want to provide, but I got laid off by an AI. I was working online for a marketing company as an appointment setter. They gave me, and it was for not till a whole month later, they gave me a Zoom call. Listen, I hate to cut it to you, but we found a replacement for you. Number one was sheer anxiety. What am I going to do now? And mind you, I'm in Peru at this time. We're in Peru, and I get laid off on the phone after 1 month of working. Yeah, we got an AI platform that can basically take on any inbound leads and respond and set the appointments at the fraction of a cost. They don't need to pay me $5,000 a month. A salary, and I take breaks too. I'm a human being. I get lazy sometimes. I don't call everybody within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It takes me an hour sometimes. But yeah, they laid me off right then and there.
So I just effectively received a pay cut at my corporate job, and I definitely think it has something to do with AI. So apparently Amazon has laid off thousands of people to make room in the budget to invest heavily into AI, and I think that is exactly what is happening at the bank that I'm working at. And I know this because it was only a few weeks ago where we had this huge branch-wide meeting where they were heavily encouraging us to use AI with our day-to-day jobs. And when management was asked if AI could replace us in the future, they couldn't really give us a straight answer. So that told me all I needed to know, really, because the thing with AI is that the more you use it, the more it learns. And if it learned enough about our jobs, then they would find no reason to keep us at our expensive rates. As AI keeps developing, a few years down the line, they could just fire us and then hire other people at lower rates to do our job, which at this state will be mostly entering prompts into the AI. Now, with AI growing so quickly, I have no idea what the world is going to look like. I actually used to really like working at this bank when I joined a few years ago, and I still like the work that I do, and I love my colleagues as well, but it is really sad seeing the direction that this is all going. I guess I'll just have to wait and see.
Hey TikTok. So I just lost my job to AI. I was a senior content strategist at this company, and they just said, hey, your role isn't necessary anymore because of the advancements we've made with AI. Cool, whatever. But what I'm coming on here for is because I've worked in marketing my entire professional career, and I've loved it. I really did enjoy it. I loved coming up with campaigns and ideas, and also using social media management and like influencers and UGC. Loved all of that. But with the amount of AI companies are using now for their marketing strategies, and specifically the fact that marketing is such a, like, if companies are going through a rough time, they immediately cut marketing budget. Like, that's the first thing they cut. I kind of want to make a career pivot, and I kind of want to go into nursing. And because I feel like with marketing, even if you have experience, you have to have a really good portfolio to get another job. There's no like certificate, there's no specific training or specific teachings you can do that like people see your resume and go, oh my God, you're an amazing marketer. And I feel like with nursing, it's like you have this certified training, you can go into other fields, you can be a traveling nurse, you could be like aesthetic nurse, like you know what I'm saying? And so just was wondering if there's any other marketers that have gone through a similar experience or have also felt like this similar pull to like healthcare fields because like there's actual like transferable skills you learn. I don't know. That's just wanted to see if anyone else has been of the same mindset lately.
Any of the tech workers still unemployed from the mass layoffs, have y'all been getting feelers sent out by recruiters yet? Suddenly I have a lot of recruiters in my inbox for contract work 6 months to 1 year at a time, but they are all hiring for a ridiculously low hourly rate. So jobs that I used to go on where I would be making $50 to $70 an hour are now hiring for $25 to $30 an hour, which is about the same amount that I make doing retail management work, except with my retail manager's job, I at least get benefits. The whole reason for a high hourly is that you are charging for the benefits that you do not get as a salaried employee, including things like job security, your 401k, and your health insurance. We are undergoing a major salary reset for the tech industry at the very least, if not across the board. They are trying to get white-collar workers as close to the minimum wage as possible. Never once did I ever think my tech job, my cushy tech job, would be the equivalent of working retail. Never. And now I'm sitting here with interviews from the Big Five that offer the same amount as my retail job, but I mean less, honestly, because I don't get health insurance, I don't get benefits, and I don't get paid time off. My retail job is more competitive than the tech jobs I'm going out for. And I have 10 years of experience in high-level content strategy and algorithm work. This is wild. Never in all my years would I think that specialized work would be competitive or on par with my retail job. Never. And I don't have disrespect for retail. I just didn't think it'd be that way.
I promise I have clothes on. I'm wearing my bathing suit because I was outside, but I got laid off at work today. And I was completely blindsided, had no idea that I would be getting laid off today. But I was marketing director at a boutique downtown, and they decided to completely dissolve my position, and a lot of that has to do with AI. And I just making this video because I have a lot of emotions and a lot of opinions on AI, and it just makes me sad that we are trading quality for convenience, and that's just the name of the game, and it's business and it's financial decisions at the end of the day. But you study so hard and you work so hard at a craft like design, for me, and it sucks for people to devalue that because of AI. And I just want to say, if you are out there, you feel similarly, because AI has just it's taking so many people's passions and jobs, and the need for that community, that need for people with different giftings. Just know that you're not alone, and know that AI will never take away what we have, at the end of the day, who we are, the giftings that we have, the humanness that we have, and they can never rewrite that at the end of the day.
I'm about to spill the tea. get comfortable, because what's happening in big tech right now, they're not saying it out loud, but I am. Starting with our friends at Amazon. Amazon just announced another round of cuts, 16,000 corporate jobs. This is now their third round. And if you think this is just an Amazon problem, it's not. Andy Jassy already said generative AI will reduce Amazon's corporate workforce. Let me say that slowly. AI is not just a productivity tool, it's a headcount strategy. And every single one of these companies is running the same playbook. Here's the corporate truth nobody wants to say. Most of these layoff announcements are really AI funding announcements. Companies are cutting costs, flattening teams, and redirecting money into AI infrastructure and AI-enabled workflows. And contrary to the headlines, most jobs are not being replaced by fully autonomous AI systems. What's actually happening is AI augmentation. Portions of work are being automated, productivity expectations are rising, and companies are rethinking org size and structure in real time. Lightning round of who's cutting. Let's get into it. Amazon 16,000, removing layers, funding AI. Meta 8,000, creating room for AI spending. Microsoft buyouts for 7% of staff plus 15,000 already cut. Google restructuring around AI. Oracle, thousands gone. AI infrastructure spend. Cisco, 4,000, investing in silicon and AI. LinkedIn, 875, reorganizing for growth areas. PayPal, 4,800, AI adoption. Salesforce went from 9,000 customer support agents to 5,000. And it's not just tech. UPS up to 30,000 jobs. Nestle, 16,000. Intel cutting down from 100 to 75,000. Verizon, 13,000. Disney, 1,000. Nike, 1,400. Different industries, same behavior. So what's actually driving this? Three forces. AI is changing how work gets done, companies admitting that they overhired during the pandemic, and cost-cutting pressure from tariffs, inflation, and slowing consumer spending. This is not a crash, this is a reset. And the US added fewer than 50,000 jobs per month last year, the slowest pace over the last 2 decades outside of a recession. That's not a dip, that's a collapse in hiring momentum. And who's getting hit the hardest? Middle managers, generalists, early career professionals, and career pivoters. Because when the companies cut to fund AI, broad job titles get reorganized first. But here's what I want you to actually do. Stop thinking in job titles. Start thinking in skills, leverage, and outcomes. Pull up the last 3 announcements in your industry. Highlight every phrase that starts with investing in or building toward. That's where the next hires will be. Build those skills before those jobs get posted. Get AI literate, even if you're not technical. Build a visible personal brand and start creating optionality so you don't depend on one employer. That's the portfolio career. But here's my corporate truth. Companies will tell you layoffs are about efficiency. What they really mean is, we believe technology can help us operate with leaner teams, and we're testing that theory in real time. I'm going to keep covering this because this isn't fear-mongering, it's career literacy. Comment Elite for my newsletter where I decode every major announcement so you stay 3 moves ahead.